Welcome to Before Floor, an extension of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo, and I'm joined by Mateo Mayorga and Mr. Timmy joining us from Bahamas. Now, the Heat have all of their guys back for the most part. We're missing Yurt, UD, no Marcus Garrett as well, but we are getting everyone back. But before we get into that, want to thank a couple of our sponsors and make sure you guys check them out as well because they support us. So go out and support them. So make sure, first of all, go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code 5, double your deposit up to $100. It's a different way of playing fantasy and doing betting as far as sports betting. You go as far as the point totals, the total fantasy score, different ways of actually getting up there. Like I said, use the promo code 5. You'll double your deposit up to $100. So that way it's $100 free money. And there's multiple ways to play. You can straight up do the straight 4 picks, or if you want to flex play, so that way if one of the players don't hit, that way you kind of have a little bit more flexibility to play with, and you still make some good money there too. Also, we want to thank our guy, Mark Brown, PA. That's MARC, brownpa.com. If you're young and you're looking and you have an estate, you want to make sure you have a plan for everything to go in case something happens. You live in a crazy world, right? Make sure you hit up Mark Brown, PA. He's a Heat fan. You'll probably see him at a bunch of the Heat games as well. He's based out of North Lauderdale, and he's going to help you with all the paperwork as far as any questions go. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should be hitting him up because this is probably something that you need at the end of the day. So like I said, go to markbrownpa.com, and Alejandro, the phone number is 954. Go ahead and pull that up. It's right over there. 565. Oh, scroll up. There we go. 5878. I believe that's what it is. Oh, 954-566-5878. So make sure you guys hit up our boy, markbrownpa.com. Guys, we have the full crew back. We have Jimmy back. We have Bam back. Kyle's going to be back. Tyler Hero is playing as well. Everyone, as far as our core four, is playing. So I want to get back to just which one of you guys, who do you think, or who are you the most excited to see? And who do you think is going to lead us tonight and kind of maybe set the tone going into that regular season? Timmy, you weren't with us last time. I'll start with you.
Yeah, so it was very interesting today. They asked Jimmy who was the most improved player that he's seen in preseason. He said Hero, and we can't see that because Hero hasn't really played this whole preseason. So I actually want to see if, because it's been about a year and a half since Jimmy started to bump up Tyler and put so it's interesting now that Jimmy has decided to make it a Tyler Tuesday again. Maybe I know it's Wednesday, but so I'm very interested to see what Jimmy has seen with Tyler. And we also want to see what this title look like with Jimmy, Larry, and I guess we assume it's Caleb and Bam. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, because I do think the season, we know we're going to get from most of the guys, but the season hinges on the leaps of the Kentucky guys, Hero and Bam. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. If this team wants to be a legitimate contender, the two Kentucky guys, Hero and Bam, are really going to have to take that leap and fill out kind of the gaps that we had lost missing some of those players. Gad, I'll throw it to you, man. Like, what are you most excited to see, maybe as far as lineups or an individual player coming into tonight and going into the beginning of the season?
Well, first and foremost, I do want to say I think that is gross Michael Mulder erasure because he is also a Kentucky Wildcat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was Bam's roommate, Timmy. Is that right?
Yes, he was. He was Bam's roommate.
Okay, so let's all three Kentucky guys. Maybe even he has a good game tonight. But no, I 100% agree with Timmy. I want to see what Hero looks like. I know there's been a lot of people that said, oh, he doesn't fit in the starting lineup. How does he play off ball? This, that, and the other. I want to see him lean into being one of the most elite shooters in the league. I think that's something he's very, very capable of. And if he's able to do it, I think it helps the spacing more so than a Duncan Robinson or a Max Strus can, because Hero is also a threat with the ball in his hands. So that's one of the things I want to see. I know Yurt's out, but I do want to see how they approach that backup 5 position. Is it going to be Dedmon? Is it going to be Jovic? Could we just see small ball? I don't know. That's one thing that I'm excited to see, because Spo said 10-man rotation in the first half. If that's not including Yurt, that means one of those guys is going to be a question mark. Personally, I'd love for it to be Jovic. I think he's shown enough offensively to the point where you can play him as a small ball 5 for a couple minutes a game, the same way you used to play Kelly Olynyk. But that's what I want to see. I'm excited for Hero. I'm excited. That Jimmy comment got me hyped up.
Mateo?
Personally, it's the guy I picked to win most improved player for the second time, Victor Oladipo. I think this is the start of him reestablishing himself as a two-way player. I know he shot poorly from the field in the last exhibition game, 3 for 11, but I liked what I saw on the defensive side of the floor. But these exhibition games are all about getting reps and just finding your rhythm again. I know he's played with mostly third string. Well, when he played with third stringers and second stringers, but I want to see him next to guys like Bam, Tyler, Kyle, and Jimmy, so he can play with the best players and they could also cover his deficiencies.
Yeah, I think that's a great point as well. I think somebody we got to talk about is somebody whose extension just kicked in, Bam Adebayo, right? What is he going to bring to the table? He's really going to be our main front court guy. I mean, everybody, we could talk about maybe when it comes down to key moments, throwing Jimmy at the 4, but Jimmy isn't a 4. So when it comes to our power rotation, Bam is our power rotation. So I want to see what he's going to bring to the table as far as, maybe adding what different dimensions is he adding to his game. We saw in the first couple of years of his career, he would add different layers to his game. I feel like he added a little bit less going from the year before to last year. He still made some improvements, but it wasn't quite as much of the jumps that we've seen in previous seasons. I want to see him make a similar jump that he had earlier in his career like he did last year. So I want to see him do that. So a couple of guys that performed really well during the preseason: Jovic, Nikola Jovic, Duncan Robinson, and Kane. Right, those 3 guys played really well. Unfortunately, not all 3 of them are going to get minutes, and it's going to be tough to kind of squeeze them in. And it might be situational throughout the season. But I want to say, which one of those 3 guys do you think loses the most minutes? Mateo, I'll start with you on that one.
Can you repeat the name? It was Jovic, Kane, and I'm sorry, who else?
And Duncan.
Oh, absolutely, Duncan Robinson. I think he is the biggest liability defensively. I know he's been a little better in the preseason, but I really like more what the other guys bring. It's not mostly just to knock on Duncan. I really love the instincts Jovic has shown on the defensive side of the court as a off-ball helper. Kane, I love his activity, roaming to the basket off ball all the time, not just to catch the ball and to looking to score, but to create offensive rebounds and keep the ball, keep the possession going. Duncan Robinson, I know he's put the ball on the floor a little bit more in the preseason, and he got to the line 2 games ago at 10 times and only 3 last game, but I am not so high on guys who are just 3-point specialists.
Gad? Ooh. Gad looking like you want to spit
wow,
some fire,
Mateo, welcome to the anti-specialist crew. I'm glad to have someone else here with me.
Thank you for having me.
I think that he made his points very eloquently. I personally don't think Duncan is going to lose that many minutes until he's playing on another team, because this team is kind of primed for him to get traded at some point this season, whether he's playing well or not. But that's just my own personal opinion. I think it's going to be Jamal Cain, at least early on, because he's a 2-way player. This team, for as many question marks as they may have at the forward spot, Cain brings some element that some of these other players don't do, specifically in the rebounding department, in my opinion. He's also a very smart cutter, but Caleb has that as well. I think Cain is going to be the toughest one to squeeze in. We don't see undrafted free agent rookies in their very first season go crazy with the Heat, especially if they haven't had any professional experience before. But I do have high hopes for Cain long term. I think there's something to be developed there. But I'll go with Jamal Cain. I think Jovic kind of earned he earned the right to at least have some of his abilities explored, because there's a lot of untapped stuff there. And Duncan, yes, he's repetitive with Strus, but at the same time, there is a skill set that is always on the floor for the Heat. So I think Spo will find a way for Duncan.
Yeah, I think there is a. Oh, go ahead, Timmy.
No, we know how Spo gets rookies. When was the last time Spo played more than 1 rookie? So first of all, even if 1 rookie plays, it's not going to be Jovic and Kane. And I agree with Gary. I think Duncan, you always want to shoot on the floor. I don't think that he will ever have a lineup on the floor without Strus or without Duncan. I think that's going to be rare, just because you need to space the floor for Bam and Jimmy. So I actually think neither Kane nor Jovic plays if the Heat is healthy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jovic is like you guys kind of all had common sentiment. Jovic being the one guy that isn't going to lose many minutes as far as his production. I think he's kind of showed a little bit of a skill set that the Heat really could use as far as being somebody that just brings multiple dimensions and different layers to this offense. And we know at times this Heat team has problem creating points. So if you have a guy like him that can maybe just in small 5 to 10 minute bursts bring different layers to this offense, that's something that can be extremely effective, especially with someone as good of a head coach as Coach Spoelstra. Now, getting into this game specifically, we're playing the New Orleans Pelicans. They're one of the, I think, low kind of flying under the radar teams in the West, because they have a lot of talent, especially if Zion is healthy. I mean, you're talking CJ McCollum, you're talking Brandon Ingram, You're talking Zion Williamson. There's a couple of guys on that team.
Herb Jones.
I'm sorry?
Herb Jones.
We got
He's
a couple of Herb Jones guys out there. But they're a good team, and they have a lot of deep pieces as well with the players they've added. How deep or how good do you think, and Timmy, I'll go to you with this one. How deep do you think the New Orleans Pelicans can make it this season? And do you think they're a legitimate threat to the Western Conference?
I think Willie Green's been coach of the year.
Ooh.
Wait, did you just steal my line?
Yes.
Timmy, come on now.
But we were in agreement all week. I think Willie Green is coach of the year. I'm sorry,
I know. Literally, that's like the meme where it's the same wavelength, just like both of their minds connected. That's Timmy and I are a little hive mind going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I there's nothing to not like about the team. They can play big, they can play small. You have behind Zion, you have Nance, you have people even forget that Devontae Graham and just like if healthy, like that's a dangerous team. Of course, you have the Clippers and Nuggets. The West is a bloodbath. I'm happy the team we cover did not play in the West. But Willie Green I think he's a good coach. And Zion is a freak of nature. And shout out to Brady. Brady is posted a picture of Zion. Zion is a tank. Like I hope Brady doesn't stay too close to the sideline, and because those Zion flies over you can't afford to lose Brady tonight. But Brady took a picture of Zion, and Zion literally has been like a tank, So I have high hopes for my Pelicans team.
Yeah, and going into this game, we're going to see 3 different archetype players because CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram, they bring all something completely different to the table. And I'm really curious to see which one of them give the Heat the most problems, because I think that'll kind of be an indicator of what players or what kind of players is going to be the most problem for the Heat going into the season, whether it's maybe a small scoring guard that can get in and penetrate a little bit, or somebody that's a tall wing like Brandon Ingram, like a Kevin Durant mold, somebody that's just a lengthy shooter, or somebody that can take you out into the paint and kind of beat you down inside. So I'm curious, Gad, I'll throw to you this one. Which player do you think the Heat are going to have the toughest time guarding? And do you think that's going to be continual moving on to the season?
So I think they actually kind of just ruled their starters out probably like 5 to 10 minutes ago. So I think they might be missing Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and I think CJ McCollum is questionable. Not sure about Zion, but I saw something like that. But anyways, if they were playing, I'll answer the question. I think it's going to be Zion for any team in the NBA, if I'm being honest, because there's just so many things that you can't really game plan for, right? Like everyone says, oh, just pack the paint. Well, how do you pack the paint when there's 6'6", 270 pounds of pure muscle and unbridled anger going directly at you and finishing at a 60% at the rim? Like not really much that you can do. So I think Zion is just going to give everybody problems. I think he's even given Bam problems in the past. And, I think Bam is the best defender in the NBA. But one of the players tonight that you should watch out for the rest of the season, I think he might be this year's Desmond Bane type breakout player, is Trey Murphy, the third. I think he is one phenomenal player and a phenomenal pick that they had last year. Really good shooter, like really, really good shooter. So watch out for him. He'll probably have as much opportunity as he wants tonight. High on him. Wish we could have seen Dyson Daniels play. I think he's a mix of Lonzo Ball and Matisse Thybulle, but that's for another day. I love Trey Murphy, and I think he's going to have a pretty good game tonight for the Pels.
Now, Mateo, with that being said, I want you to break down this game for me a little bit more. Kind of tell me about some of the guys you like on the Pelicans, because I could see you enjoying what Brad brought to the table. And give me a pick for tonight. Obviously, they don't have their full crew, but start us off with the predictions.
Predictions, I'm taking Miami to win this game. You said some players are going to be held out from their starting crew, but something that the Heat are going to have to take will be very aware of is Zion Williamson's activity near the lane. To Gad's point, Zion Williamson averaged the most paint points since Shaquille O'Neal did in the early 2000s. The last time he played close to a full season, was 66 games in 2021. Zion is a freak of nature, and when he misses near the rim, which isn't very often, because he's so strong and athletic, he has an advantage over the rest of the players at getting an offensive rebound and just scoring putback points. But I like also Trey Murphy. To Gad's point, it's like he was reading off my notes. At Virginia, he was a 50-40-90 club player, and in his lone season in the NBA, he shot 38% from deep. However, 2/3 of his attempts come from the three-point line. So if he could be run off that zone and kept out of the restricted area, he won't be effective right now as what he is as a player. But I really like those two guys, and shout out to my other guy, Willie Hernan Gomez. I really like him as a mobile big.
Timmy,
you gotta address him properly. You gotta address him as Eurobasket MVP.
Yeah,
Hernan
excuse
Gomez.
me. Yes, absolutely. Eurobasket MVP.
He won the
Um,
MVP.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
Go ahead, Timmy. Break
Yeah.
this down.
I'm
Yeah,
ashamed of
man.
myself. Sorry.
We haven't really seen Zion in like 2 years. So I mean, as a fan of the game, I just want to see what Zion can bring. And to Gad's point, I really want the world to see that Bam's defense. I think we'll see a lot of match. We're gonna switch a lot. So I'm just curious to see Bam's how he defends. So I want to see, since it's a dress rehearsal, Bam just really getting more, because we know he could do it in the summer league and the pro AMs and all that. But I want to see Bam. He said he used to want to be KG, get more comfortable with taking that midi. Maybe that top of the key three. Let the Heat win just because of the fact that the Pels aren't going to play hard. But I like getting Zion some reps. And Trey Murphy won me some fantasy games last year, so I love that guy. But I think we're gonna see a show in this fourth quarter, if it's not close, of a Jovic versus maybe a Trey Murphy. Like I really want to see Jovic just get some more reps before the season starts.
Take us home, Gad.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to see Jovic get reps at the end. But one thing that I kind of want to see if the Heat can build off, or one specific player, I want to see Hero kind of build on the performance that he had defensively in that first game, because he was actually disrupting some passing lanes and doing some of the things that he said he was going to do at media day. So if Hero's actually able to improve himself, I mean, on ball, obviously, but if he's able to be a little bit more of a disruptor in passing lanes, kind of playing like the Jimmy Butler game where maybe he doesn't have the longest arms, but he can still kind of toy with defenders a little bit when they're passing. That would be huge in terms of him making this starting lineup work a little bit more. So that's really it. Like at the end of the day, just let Jovic cook and I will be happy. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, a lot of fun things. I'm really excited to see the different lineups that Coach Spo throws out there as well. I'm curious to see how he'll mix in some of the newer guys with some of the lineups that we expected, like Jovic and Jamal Cain, if we do see those guys. So a lot of fun things to look forward to tonight with the Heat being at the full lineup. Do want to thank our boy. Thank you. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen. The unidentified celebrity review. Who will be this year's bum? Duncan Lowry or Yurtsevin? I think it's a little too early for that, but you can let us know, bro. I mean, you're the one that's in charge of this. Let us know. But so again, thank you guys. Consistency is the key. Thanks to the Mr. Unidentified Celebrity Review, as always, for chipping in with the super chats. And if you have any questions or any comments, make sure you guys pitch in as well. And we'll go ahead and answer it now as well. Make sure you guys, before we close out, check out prizepicks.com. Use the promo code 5 for double your deposit up to $100. And go to markbrownpa.com. That's MARC brownpa.com. If you're young and within a state, and if you need some planning for you guys, the Miami Heat will take care of business against the New Orleans Pelicans tonight, and we're going to get this dub. Let's go, Heat. Let's take us home.
All right, guys. Thank you very much to all of you that are coming here for the pregame show, as usual. And as we get ready for the regular season games, we want to remind you guys to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you turn on the notifications so you get one every time we go live or we post a video. We're going to be doing this all throughout the season. For some games, we're going to be doing even some hangouts during the games, and we're also going to have the players and the coaches talking before each one of these games. Make sure you subscribe to the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Let your friends know that we're doing this before every game, and also after every game. We're going to be having the 5 on the floor post-game live show. So make sure as soon as the game is over, come over here to the YouTube channel, because we're going to be going live as well. Have a good night. Enjoy the game. Thank you very much as usual, and we'll be back soon with more content here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Have a good night.